Alrighty, boys, what's going on? My name's Garambella. How y'all doing today? So the hot fix for invasions came out today, and I'm here to just kind of give you guys my thoughts. Honestly, I'm just gonna cut straight to the point. If you're someone who couldn't complete invasions before the nerf, you're still not gonna be able to complete it. They made the puzzles easier, but the boss is still going to be the biggest issue. Now, I'm going to be talking from the one that I did do. I didn't do the Sterile Land one. I did the Fortress one. I didn't really care to do the Sterile Land one because the moment I walked in there, I got stun locked by all of the enemies that like to do knockback and shit like that. I just immediately left. I just didn't give a fuck at that point. So the puzzles were fine. They made changes to the pedestals or the symbols. So now it's actually symbols, so people with color blindness can actually like be able to do this, fairly decently. They can actually do it now, which is good. The great quality of life change. I'm super happy that they added that for the people who are colorblind. But let's talk about the boss. That's the big issue. I'm just going to say it here. So the boss still has a pretty large amount of health. Now, I don't think, in terms of me, I don't think I had an issue with DPS. I think it was just more of an issue of the fact that I wasn't running a Descendant that has like really good AoE, aka fucking Bunny. So the problem with the boss was a couple of different things. First of all, I think the ammo economy in this game is fucking dog shit. This was a big contributing factor to my unenjoyment of the invasion mission still. The During the boss fight, the boss is still like constantly spawning enemies. Melee enemies, enemies that are shooting at you from a range, all sorts of enemies. Enemies that are snipers that do a lot of damage, albeit I genuinely didn't give a fuck. They weren't doing enough damage to me to where I gave a fuck. And I was like, what? Like, what? Oh, man, I took some damage. For some people, they might do a lot of damage. For me, since then, I've upgraded my Sharon build, and so I'm a lot tankier than what I was before, so I'm taking shots a lot better. But yeah, I was spending most of my time fighting mobs than I was fighting the boss. Like, I was spending more time fighting the mobs than I was fighting the boss. That's issue number one. Another issue is when you are trying to DPS the boss's shield and you have like constantly spawning enemies that are not only like body blocking the boss. So when you're trying to shoot the boss's shield, you have these enemies that are constantly like infinitely spawning, that are constantly getting in your way. It's fucking annoying, but you're also having the enemies that are, in your fucking face while you're on the pedestal, because realistically, it's the same philosophy as the issue that I had prior, where, the mobs were doing a lot of damage to you, and you had to stand on the pedestal for an elongated period of time. And it's the same issue, just kind of slightly different. It's still same outcome. This was issue number 2. Issue number 3, I don't know if it's just me, but am I the only person who feels like ammo pickups and health pickups and MP pickups are like few and far between? You're sitting there killing like a shit ton of enemies, and like you're just not getting health pickups or ammo pickups. Maybe it's just me, but it feels like the developers did something in that regards. Like there's just no fucking shot. Like it's bad. it's fucking bad. That's issue number 3. Issue number 4 was what the fuck was I gonna say? The boss still has a lot of health, so if you're casual, semi-casual, you know what I mean? You're not like quite casual. You still put like time into the game, and you probably have like maybe 1 or 2 guns like maybe halfway built. Like currently right now, my Enduring Legacy is like 530,000 DPS. You're still gonna probably have troubles DPSing the boss, and again, like I said before, because your attention is being taken away from DPSing the boss, and you have to go and DPS the mobs. If you are not running a fully min-max Enduring Legacy, you are probably not going to be able to do this. It's that simple. And you know what? If the developers want that, that's fine. But my big issue, okay, was the modifier, was the negative modifier. I said this in my Invasion Sucks video, but the negative modifier this time around was if you have a general weapon equipped, every time you fire a bullet, it counts as 2 bullets. So you're running out of ammo far quicker. Now, I don't know if this affects like impact weapons, or all I know is I was running out of ammo constantly. Like, this game already has like a bad ammo economy, and to have a negative modifier that fucking makes it worse, it's almost like the developers just don't understand, like, don't play their game. It genuinely feels like the developers just don't play their game. And so they just add some negative modifiers that just like kick you in the dick. But honestly, at this point, I don't give a fuck. I'm still not going to do invasion missions. They're still not fun. I still don't like them. I like even honestly, this shit is fucking cooked, bro. I'm just gonna keep it a $1.50, keep it 55th Street. Like, I don't know why the developers just don't add a separate difficulty for the hardcore player base, because what's happening is that you're changing content that is being done, or that's being engaged by the hardcore player base and the casual player base. So what ends up happening is you have the casual player base that can't do the content, and so they're saying like, hey, the content is too hard, and so you make the content easier, and then you have the hardcore player base, you know, the min-maxers, the fucking people who have 700 to 1,000 hours into this game fucking already because they've been no-lifing this fucking game, or the people who just whip out their fucking credit card and buy energy activators and catalyst. These people are like, hey, the content's too fucking easy. You know, I want to stress test my build. I just spent a shit ton of fucking money on activators and catalysts. Like, I'm trying to stress test this shit, bitch. And then there's me. I'm just sitting there like, I just want fucking Haley, man. I like, soon as I'm done with Haley, I'm never going to touch invasion missions. I'm not going to touch them for the fucking challenge, because they're not fun enough to do them for the challenge. It doesn't matter how hard or how easy you make invasions, they're still going to be fucking bad. It's just not good content to begin with. Like, it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you change, it doesn't matter how easy, how hard you make them, they're just fucking bad. They're bad from a just fundamental problem. And then you have all of the just like game-wide issues that are bleeding in, like the fucking ammo economy, that just make it fucking worse. You have the things like the fucking negative modifiers. And, you know, personally, I would just get rid of the negative modifiers, and like, if they had a separate difficulty that's harder, maybe add the negative modifiers to there. But I'm just fucking, I'm done, bro. This is the last video I'm gonna make about this shit. Like, it's still bad. It's still bad. If you could not complete it beforehand, you're still not gonna be able to complete it. That's all I'm gonna fucking say. I'm not trying to sit here and feel the wrath of the fucking hardcore, trying to compensate for a small dick Andy that is going to sit there and say that the content is too easy and they want it to be harder. I don't care. I just don't fucking care. My name's Garen Belmont. That's all I have to say about this. Invasions still suck. I don't fucking know.